Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Red Hat webinar. Before we get started with today's presentation, there are a few items to quickly mention. You should see a taskbar at the bottom of the screen. Each icon is assigned to a particular element of today's webinar. If you're not sure what the icon does, hover over the icon with your mouse and the box will appear to tell you the function. Also, next to the slides window, you should see a blank Ask a Question box that allows you to type a question. After you type the question, click Submit to send it to our presenters. Feel free to submit your questions throughout the webinar, and our presenters will address as many as possible following the presentation. You can submit any technical questions related to the webinar platform here. Please close down other browser windows or applications that might be splitting your bandwidth, including VPNs, as these might interfere with the audio or video stream. If you experience any connectivity issues, please refresh your browser. Today's session is being recorded, and all registrants will receive an email within 1 to 2 days of the event with a link to view this presentation on demand. Now I'm going to hand it over to today's first speaker so we can get started with the presentation.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Application Modernization and Migration SAP Side-by-Side webinar. I am Pierluigi Scardazza, EMEA Sales Lead for Runtimes and Application Modernization. Together with me there is Gökhan Viren, EMEA Senior Solution Architect focused on the SAP solutions. We also have a special guest today, Manfred Bortenschlager, EMEA Sales Lead for Agile Integration. He will support us during the Q&A session. Let's get straight to the point and let's see the agenda. Today's topics are Red Hat Application Modernization and Migration, Side-by-Side Extensibility, why Red Hat, and next steps. Moreover, we will have time for a more interactive Q&A session at the end. Please feel free to ask your questions during the webinar. We will do our best to answer them. Let's start with the first topic, Application Modernization and Migration, also known as AMM. From where you are to where you want to be, this is our motto. AMM actually is a way to drive and support our customers, together with our partners and our professional services through the transformation journey. Digital transformation is a keyword, probably more a buzzword. We use it since a lot of time. Nowadays, also because of the COVID-19 problem, there was an acceleration, a sort of race to modernize the infrastructures and the applications. The good news is that also according to the IDC study, the investments are growing. By the way, CAGR stands for Compound Annual Growth Rate. The bad news is that more than 70% of the digital transformations fail. Red Hat can support you on properly running this initiative. We can help you on achieving a faster time to market, new delivery models, new ecosystem on innovation, and a transformation culture through our open technology and our open organization approach. Anyway, we will see later today how. As you can see, our Red Hat AppDev solution portfolio can also support our customer needs on building and optimizing applications, composing and integrating data, automatizing and optimizing business processing. These three pillars, runtimes, agile integration, and process automation, can run on top of our container platform that is OpenShift. The application modernization and migration is the framework, the methodology that can help our customers on mitigating risks using a step-by-step, customer-centric approach. AMM, as you can easily understand by the name, is divided into two parts, the modernization and the migration. Here, you can find several initiatives aimed to have, for instance, a better software architecture or in an agile integration approach. In the migration part, you can find, for instance, the integration platforms, such as migrating from Tigro to Fuse. We will see more details later today. All the initiatives can support our customers on achieving several benefits. Among the most important, I just want to underline increasing the speed, rebalancing the maintenance and the innovation, adapting agile methodology and DevOps. Let's hand over now to Gökhan, who will focus more on the side-by-side extensibility.
Thank you, Luigi. Thanks a lot. Yes, well, in the context of application modernization, I'm going to be talking about side-by-side extensibility. This is a context. This is a concept brought by SAP itself that is going to be very, very important when a customer wants to migrate from their current SAP Business Suite 7 to S/4HANA. The reason we're mentioning here is that many of the SAP systems have the custom code that has been created within SAP itself. That is, SAP provides an ABAP-based application development language, and this in-app developments have allows the customers to develop applications within SAP or custom applications within SAP. Now, the problem with that, looking at the future, SAP has changed the data dictionary and some of the functionality in S/4HANA. So when the customers do want to migrate them, most of the times they need to be recoded. This is a common issue, and then that's why SAP itself came up with this idea of extensibility. When we look at the analysis, they think that a clear move to open source solutions and also strong shift to use of microservices, containers, and cloud functionality. How are we going to bring them together? First of all, let's look at the S/4HANA architecture. It has its own application server, database server, and the full functionality that contains data dictionary and the code itself. But the additional code that needs to be written previously, that needs to be brought in, has to be recoded based on this new data dictionary. Now, SAP brings also many capabilities for integration as well, for external application integration, like SAP Java libraries or data interface. So all of these require a certain involvement or certain handling with the external applications. So what we're suggesting here for the customers is to look into the possibility of developing these external applications or applications external to SAP rather than developing within in-app developments through our tools and the platforms. The most important one that we can mention is SAP Red Hat Fuse solution, which is part of our Red Hat middleware, and that allows you to communicate with SAP systems based on the data structures and also based on the functionality through SAP JCO libraries. Now, how are we going to be doing that? But with the APIs. So every data structure or many data structures, as per required for your external application, can be actually integrated or can be attached or made available as an API endpoint, and then exposed for external applications to utilize. Furthermore, since there's going to be a lot of APIs, those APIs can also be managed with our Threescale API management environment. Furthermore, both of these tools, Threescale or solutions, is optimized and can run on our OpenShift container platform. So this gives you a capability to develop external applications or applications external to SAP, and then then actually integrate with them with SAP systems. On the left-hand side, you see S/4HANA, but you can start doing it without, before going into migration to HANA. So you can downgrade your, or you can minimize your overhead during the migration itself. So for both of these environments, we provide OpenShift Container Platform as a platform for application development, and also for running your S/4HANA system as our operating system, RHEL, which is the Red Hat Linux Enterprise Linux services or solution. Now, on top of that, not just you're going to be using the Red Hat OpenShift Container Platform with our innovative solutions, like, for example, Quarkus, which is optimized for Java development on OpenShift on container platforms, Knative for actually the serverless application development requirements, Istio for service mesh, communicating with servicing all the important containers, as well as the SAP, which is the container storage for optimized for container platforms. Now, if we look at these individual solutions, first of all, Red Hat Fuse is available for distributed integration rather than putting the customers on one single enterprise service bus. You can create reusable pattern toolkits, multiple APIs, and then wrap them as the templates. And also you can transform and create routing routes and endpoints, and then with that you can create and connect APIs to it. Furthermore, we have a specific tooling for Fuse Camel SAP component, so you can start using them very easily and very fast by using our quick start tooling on Spring Boot or any other Java platforms you'd like to use. So this tooling helps you to first of all, through SAP NetWeaver Gateway, allows you to access data structures and also communicate with SAP through iDocs via RFCs and also with the BAPIs, that business application programming interface that SAP provides you. Finally, on the other hand, to handle these APIs created based on an API-first approach, that can be accessed and managed by our Threescale API management platform. This platform allows you to control the access, control the traffic on it. It runs on the container platforms with different implementation scenarios. It allows for program management of the API access. It runs on multiple environments, like cloud environments, private and public, and also allows you to use governance policies. I have demos attached to this slide, which we'll share with you, so you can actually look at the documentation and the video, related video, how to use this Threescale on this platform. So, in summary, with our tools, with Red Hat Fuse, for example, you can access SAP data, SAP HANA directly, or you can access SAP S/4HANA on the application service layer with OData for protocol that SAP supports. Furthermore, you can actually communicate, or you can your external application can become part of the workflow with Camel SAP with Camel through SAP's Java libraries, JCO, and of course SAP has many new applications that also supports APIs or provides the APIs, open APIs that you can access directly with Threescale solution without the need of Fuse. With Fuse, you can manage and create API schemas. You can map those schemas to SAP data, as I mentioned before, integrate with other data other than SAP, and then publish those integrations on OpenShift environment. And integration is much more important at this stage, because you need, when you create multiple APIs endpoints, you need to have a management environment which will be secure and role-based access. You can monitor the data or times, windows of of transmission, amount of data, and also you can monetize it if you're a service provider, or if you are using it as a business, as an enterprise, you can actually monetize it based on the business units using those APIs. Finally, because the Threescale has its own application development environment, you can manage the API lifecycle of your solutions or APIs. If you like to talk about the value for the customer, I'd like to point out several points on this one. Through this integration in platform and the solutions, you can implement new functionalities faster by decoupling from S/4HANA and the custom codes, increase the adoption rate of SAP updates by looking into less regression testing, simplify migration to the cloud, build once and deploy anywhere, change deployment targets on-premise or in the cloud, enable cloud-native developers with no ABAP experience to build applications and integration using modern tools. And finally, you can expose the existing SAP systems as REST APIs, and by using Threescale and in a secure and monetized environment. Why Red Hat? Because, well, first of all, the best thing to remember is our solution environment, which is OpenShift, and OpenShift provides you first of all, it is the culmination of Red Hat's continuous investment in the platform and also in Kubernetes. On top of the Kubernetes, the core platform cluster services are three main areas of the product. They include platform services for managing workloads, including service mesh, serverless, pipelines, logging, and chargeback. Application services for building cloud-native applications, databases, languages, runtimes, integration possibilities, as I mentioned before, and hundreds of independent service providers. Developer services, finally, targeted at improving developer productivity. This covers developer environment, code extensions, IDE, and code-ready workspaces and containers. So that's why we're saying that it is very important to mention our capabilities, because Red Hat is one of the leading contributors to Kubernetes, next to Google, of course. Red Hat and CoreOS have provided key features to upstream Kubernetes, including operator framework, which is through the Kubernetes applications, which is the ECTD, which provides configuration and service discovery across clusters, stateful sets, managing stateful applications, and role-based access controls. For customers, OpenShift is one of the earliest Kubernetes platforms available in market, and which became very early, in 2015 in general release. We have the best experience to support Kubernetes customers running on Kubernetes than any other vendor, and then it is comprehensive portfolio of container products and services, includes developer tools, security, application, and services. So that is why a lot of customers decide to use OpenShift, not just as a Kubernetes, but the full development language for application development environment. And with that, I'm handing over to Pierluigi again. Thank you.
Thanks, Gökhan. So next steps. The question is, where do you begin? Actually, I would prefer, where do we begin? As I said before, we use a methodology, an approach to mitigate risks. The AMM is a step-by-step approach. We start with a discovery session or discovery workshop to understand the customer needs and expectations. We will speak more about this in the next slide. Then, based on the outcome, we move forward to the next step, a modernization migration navigate, where we assess the applications to categorize them based on the complexity and dependencies. Then we have the proof, pilot, plan phase to anticipate and avoid any risks you can have in the production environment. And finally, we have the scale delivery, the execution phase. We run these steps with our professional services and partners. We also strongly recommend our open innovation labs. Last but not least, we use several tools, such as the Red Hat Application Migration Toolkit. You can download it for free from our website to support our customers during the transformation journey. I mentioned the discovery session. Let's focus a bit more on this, because of the digital transformation is a journey, and we have to start with the right approach. The discovery session is the first step, where we meet the customer key stakeholders, also together with our partners, in order to define expectations, understand the needs and challenges. It's a one-day or half-a-day non-paid engagement, so it's our investment. Because of the current situation, we can run it remotely. We do not assess application during this meeting. We gather information, we provide information to properly address the next steps. If you are interested in running a discovery session, please contact your Red Hat account manager, or please reach us if you are not a Red Hat customer yet. Another crucial point, the training. Please, please, please don't forget that in a transformation journey, people are a key element to success. We always include a training program. We strongly recommend our DO 500, DevOps Culture and Practice Enablement, where you can taste a new way to work. You will learn DevOps best practices and techniques we use in our labs. Well, that's all from our side. We want to thank you for attending the webinar. Now it's time for the Q&A session. To thank Manfred Bortenschlager, thank you very much for joining us during the Q&A session. And Manfred, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Hi. Hi, Pierluigi. Hi, Gökhan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Manfred, before reading the Q&A, I have a question for you, actually. What if I already have an API management solution, is my question. Do I have to completely replace this with the Threescale?
Okay, thanks, Pierluigi. This is a very good question. So first of all, as Gökhan said during the presentation, our solution concept of agile integration is built on a concept that we call distributed integration. And distributed integration basically means that the whole of our agile integration solution is modular, and it can be used and deployed wherever it is needed. So basically, a large integration component is broken up into very smaller pieces and can be deployed in many different places. Now, all of these pieces can then, in addition, be secured by API management. So this is the foundational idea. And to answer your question, Pierluigi, no, you don't have to replace everything with Threescale. If you already have an existing API management solution, you can secure those APIs created by Agile Integration or Fuse with your existing API management solution. So this is the main idea. And in addition, also, different API management solutions, like your existing one, plus also potentially Threescale can quite nicely coexist. There are some benefits of using Threescale on top of OpenShift, of course, because it's built natively on top of OpenShift, so it leverages all the benefits of OpenShift natively. But you're not forced to use Threescale. You can use an existing API management solution if you have one.
Thanks, Manfred. We have a couple of questions from the audience. I guess the first one is for Gökhan. The question is, can you have ABAP pass on OpenShift platform?
Yes. Well, no. Well, simple answer is no, but I just want to check if you can hear me, okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, good. Okay. Right. Well, short answer to Adil's question is no, we don't. But IBM has. I know that IBM is working on this. Through the side-by-side extension idea as well, but using some ABAP functionality through API. But we don't have such an environment. Instead, we are offering modern development techniques or modern development languages. So the idea is to support modern languages in our platform by this. And I have to say, I'm looking at the SAP Cloud Platform. The ABAP capability came to SAP Cloud Platform quite late as well. It's a matter of business decision, I guess, or the business value add. Through that, I'd like to go to Philip's question as well. It says here, what are the, how do you manage, I think, besides talking about decision criteria for side-by-side, when you say classic extensions, I think you mean by the in-app or in SAP application development, the pros and cons can be discussed, but I think the decision criteria is based on how innovative you want to be, how quickly you want to bring these extensions to the market or to the users. I think from that point of view, I think decision criteria should be based on the level of innovation you want to implement, as well as how quickly you want to go to market on that one. Going into Regan Chan's question, what is the? I think it's moving around. Sorry, guys. Right. Okay. So Regan. All right.
Yeah,
okay,
we are receiving several questions.
Yeah. Okay. What is the difference between Threescale and Fuse? Fuse is to create extension or endpoints, what we call API, on an SAP system or on any legacy system that is not exposed as an API already. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind Fuse. Threescale is the API management tool, so any APIs can be accessed through Threescale in an orderly manner with its gateway, with its administration cockpit. So that is the difference. Fuse is for creating APIs, let's call it, in a basic format. Threescale is to access them, to use them. I mean, you don't have to have, as Manfred said, you don't have to have Threescale, but managing multiples of APIs through, for example, in your laptop or in your systems, it's going to be extremely tedious. So Threescale is an API management tool. How much data is going through, how many times they are being used, who is using them, and of course role-based access security on top of that. Now, again, continuing with Regan's question, can I only use Fuse and Threescale to replace my SAP PIPO platform? SAP PIPO platform is a message-based solution. For that, we have what we call AMQ, and it's not a matter of replacing them. It's a matter of communicating with SAP PIPO. So SAP PIPO or process automation or process orchestration has many different standards or supports many standard systems, and AMQ is one of them, of course. But you don't need to use Fuse or Threescale to replace your SAP PI platform. You don't replace it, but you can communicate with it through AMQ with the external world. I think there was one other question from Philip. Okay, how do you manage complexity with a lot of side-by-side extensions? That's how you manage. I mean, exactly what we talking about Threescale. I think the complexity it can be managed by an API management tool, because our approach is API first, multiples of APIs, which need to be orchestrated within and through, for example, a solution like Swagger, and then accessed by Threescale API management tools, or other management tools that you might want to use. I hope this answers the question. And anything else? I have one question for you, Pierluigi, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. You said that discovery session is the first step. What are the main benefits from a customer point of view?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, I want to stress a bit this point, because discovery session is a good approach to explain to our customers how we work. And it's a way to understand the customer challenges and needs. And I think the main benefit is really to discover the challenges, because sometimes our customers have some challenges or needs that they don't know to have. So it's a good start. It's the way to start this kind of transformation or modernization journey. Meanwhile, we are receiving more questions. Let me see. How do you manage complexity with a lot of side-by-side extensions? I think it's for you, Gökhan.
I thought it was. I answered that, but I'm going to try again. How do you manage the complexity with a lot of side-by-side extensions? Well, again, the complexity, in my opinion, if you accept that, is with some sort of API management tool. Because what we are saying is our basic approach. I mean, I have to say this approach is not just ours. Any modern approach to legacy system approach integration goes through some sort of an API management. I mean, they might have different names with the different companies, but basic idea is leave the core intact of S/4HANA or your existing Business Suite 7 system, and create applications externally, and then integrate them when and if necessary, rather than pushing data into SAP, making changes in the SAP's dictionary, and then managing this complexity. I think it's easier to manage this complexity outside, because you're independent of any of the changes in the system, in SAP system, and you can protect your future applications or your own applications against the future changes in SAP system itself. And because in OpenShift you can implement this continuous integration and continuous development approach, so you can deploy and deploy applications much faster, and go to market or take it to your users much faster. And that would be, in my opinion, would be our solution itself. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, we have another question about the SAP Cloud Platform. Why we still need the OpenShift for the side-by-side SAP application development?
You don't need it. You might want to select it. I mean, if you want to take your system, your solutions out of the vendor lock-in, then it might be an idea to actually start using it. So with that, you can extend your application, or you can move your application on premise as well as on any of the public or private clouds. So that gives you a certain capability. So just simply pulling your application into your premise, such as the idea behind the decision made by a lot of enterprises. They might want to keep their application more flexible environment and easier to handle, rather than going through and putting them into cloud. And once they make that change, or if they put themselves into a certain locked-in cloud, then those applications need to be migrated again to other platforms in the future if they decide to do so. And if you have already an OpenShift application development platform, why not use that one rather than the one that is specific for a certain application environment?
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions from the audience? Please put your questions in the Q&A. Meanwhile, I want to remind to everyone that you can download the slides, and it's a recorded session, so you can also watch the recording again or forward to your colleagues. Probably we had some problems in the slide move at the beginning, but we solved it very soon. So thank you for your patience. And well, I don't see other questions from the audience. Any comment from Manfred? Do you want to add anything else before closing the webinar?
No more comments from my side. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the webinar.
Okay. So since we have no other questions, I want to thank you, everybody, for attending our webinar today. And please check our list of events, because we have a lot of webinars. And see you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Manfred. Thank you, Gökhan, as well.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.